the Taiwan market is also good enough for you to test the market, especially entering to the Mandarin market. So pretty much, I think the entry barrier is quite low comparing to other markets or other cities. So definitely, it's a good way for entrepreneurs if you try to get your first product test in Taiwan or test in Asia. I think Taiwan got a good positioning regarding that.
Not only the big corporates in Taiwan, also lots of small, medium entities in Taiwan, they are also willing to work with the staff and go global. So I think this is a place very vibrant with talents and also with a global mindset.
We also have some program work with university or our founding partner, Jamie. He personally also sponsored students under 21 years old to take a gap year and do their own startup.
Taiwan is ingrained that people don't know about. Your MacBooks are all Taiwanese small manufacturers, but this goes to like how Taiwanese manufacturers or business owners are willing to go small MOQs in the beginning just to work with the founders. Just to give a thought, Taiwan gives you major metropolitan, very, very nice environment, but not at the cost of a Singapore or a Tokyo, but you have the safety and the convenience of a Tokyo and Singapore, but not at the cost of living. Taiwan is one of the happiest places in the world, they call it, right?
Taiwan has, uniquely become one of the Asia's most vibrant startup hubs with a unique blend of deep tech expertise and government support, international connectivity, and growing culture of entrepreneurship. Today, we are joined by our remarkable startup ecosystem leaders, helping the shape of the landscape of the international global entrepreneurship from Taiwan and global. So we have Yui from Qualcomm, Director of Business Development at Qualcomm, leader of ecosystem development programs, fostering, developing, and new opportunities for ecosystem and more. And we have Alan from Startup Island Taiwan, Operation Director of Startup Island Taiwan, driving a Taiwan startup ecosystem growth through cross-border collaborations. And you are also doing a lot of things in Japan as well. So it's amazing. So, and Elisa from Principal of AppWorks, leading programs and network of 600 plus alumni and then 1,800 founders so far. Edgard from Spark Labs, co-founder and managing partner of Spark Labs, supporting founders in digital transformation, deep tech, AI, and many more. Here's our today's agenda look like. So that being said, let's dive into the discussion. I'm going to give the stage to our speakers to introduce themselves. And thank you so much again for joining us today. I'm super excited for the discussion. So stage is yours, Yui. Let's get started from you first.
Nice to meet you all. Hi, my name is Evie Tai. I'm the Director of Business Development at Qualcomm and also lead of our ecosystem development programs in APAC. So I've been leading a startup incubation program in Taiwan for 6 years and very excited to launch a new program, support the startups and developers from Japan, South Korea, and Singapore this year, which is a Qualcomm AI program for innovators, APAC. And that's how I have been interacted with Founder Institute. And I'm looking forward to close collaboration in the startup ecosystem in APAC as well.
Thank you so much, Yui. Amazing to have you here. Alan, stage is yours.
Thank you, Erdich, and thank you to the team at Founders Institute. My name is Alan, representing Startup Island Taiwan. We're an organization from the National Development Council to help promote Taiwan's startup ecosystem and connect with other like-minded bodies around the world, including Japan, the US, and Southeast Asia. Panelists here today, Evie, Elisa, and Edgar are all close partners within Taiwan, and we've interacted both within Southeast Asia, Japan, and elsewhere together. So thank you, everyone.
It's amazing to have you here, Alan. Thank you so much. Lisa, stage is yours.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's Lisa. Thank you for tuning in after work. So I'm representing AppWorks. We are an accelerator and a VC firm. And what's so special about us is we are an equity-free program for the founders and provide founder and help them to grow further. And we launched our first batch of accelerator program back in 2010, which means it's been 15 years already. So now in our community, we have more than 600 active startups. They are from Taiwan and mostly Southeast Asia. And we currently already have 4 VC funds and investing through our Fund 4. And we manage more than 350 million US dollar in our assets. So that's about us. And I will share more details with you guys later.
Thank you so much, Elisa. Good. Stage yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Edgar. I'm the founder and managing partner of Spark Labs Taiwan. We are a VC accelerator fund that mainly invests into early stage companies, help them to expand globally. And the other way around, we're also taking international startups to solve them the business to Taiwan. We host the largest demo day in Taiwan since 2019. And we've invested around 70 startups, starting from like 5 years ago. Looking forward to having more conversation with other panelists.
Amazing. All right. Okay, let's dive into the panel discussion. In this session, we will go through several chapters. So unpacking these exciting development of the Taiwan's startup history. And it's very inspiring, actually, especially for Japan, actually, because Japan ecosystem up and coming. But I believe Taiwan ecosystem much more earlier, honestly. And I don't know between Korea and Taiwan, but it's very interesting. As you know, if Alan remember, actually, I guess 2018, I have ever visited Taiwan, and then I visited you there. So you introduced me very briefly. You were really kind that in a very short notice, you were welcome to your office to talk about the Taiwan ecosystem at that time. It was amazing. Anyways, so the first we will be get to know our panelists more with some questions, their personal motivations, especially why they're building in Taiwan in the first place. And then we will be exploring the ecosystem itself with its opportunities and challenges and sector-specific advantages like AI and semiconductors and so on. And we will discuss how startups navigate regulatory landscape, especially particularly in complex sectors like healthcare and fintech and many more, from Taiwan to roll, and could be also the other way around as well. And then we will be diving into the how founders can build impact with partnerships and corporates, investors, and accelerators, and so on. So this discussion purpose is structural because we receive a lot of questions from the founders and other ecosystem players. And we utilize this by recording and then providing to our network with more structural, easy to digest, crafted piece of video. So by this way, we are also contributing them to get to know about the ecosystem in a structured way. And then we will be looking into the strategies, scaling strategies, and global expansion strategy from Taiwan to world, from especially for startups. And we will be also cover networking and collaboration opportunities available locally. And finally, we will wrap up with the practical advice and takeaways from our panelists for any entrepreneurs looking to enter or grow from within Taiwan and beyond. So it's going to be a packed and insightful session. So let's jump into it directly. So the first thing first, we will get to know our featured panelists here. So first, let's start with the Yui. So my question is, you have built a successful career at the Qualcomm in various roles. What inspires you to focus on the startup ecosystem in Taiwan right now?
Okay. So I think I'm the only corporate representative among the panelists here. So Qualcomm is a tech company founded in the US. And I joined Qualcomm for a long period since it was focusing on the mobile and the communication. And now Qualcomm is innovating into intelligent computing everywhere with broad range of portfolio solutions in phone, PC, automotive, and IoT. So when the company started to extend to these adjacent markets, I was the product marketing for these new business segments in Taiwan and had a chance to support and engage many Taiwan companies to propose solutions for worldwide OEMs. And many of the opportunities were startups. And so I've been seeing lots of innovative ideas and innovatives globally. And at that time, I learned entrepreneurs are providing the most important driving power for the technology and industry involvement. And Qualcomm run innovative program globally to foster innovation and support the startup ecosystem. And when the company decided to launch the startup incubation program in Taiwan in 2019, I know this is exactly the initiative that I want to lead and support. So I lived at it and volunteered to lead the program since then. And through the Taiwan program, we identify and support innovative startups from Taiwan and providing them technical support, business coaching, IP training to help them scale up and connect them to the global markets. And in the past 6 years, we have supported around 60 Taiwan startups and working on very broad range of industries. So very honored to be able to support them along the way. And as I shared, we're very excited to see this Taiwan company grow and connect them to the global market, and especially also working closely with our APAC regional office. So we see a need that we can also support broader ecosystem in APAC. That's why we launched a new program, the Kokang AI program for innovators APAC. And we are hoping to use this new platform to engage and support the APAC startups and foster the cross-border cooperation between Taiwan and the APAC region.
It's amazing. You know, as a corporate, you have, you know, such a benchmark, you know, program actually for most of those other corporates across the world. It's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's go to Ellen. So which is from the Startup Island, Taiwan. So you have a deeply understanding of the startups, Taiwan's entrepreneurial landscape from pretty early times, right? So how did you get first involved in the first place in the Taiwan startup boom? And what excites you about the Taiwan startup ecosystem?
Okay, thank you. How I got involved is first, I moved back to Taiwan right before President Trump number 47 got elected in 15. So when I came back, you know, I joined right after I joined a startup. Back then it was a travel tech startup. And from there, they didn't have enough runway, but at the same time, their founder was working with Taiwan Startup Stadium, which is the predecessor of Startup Island, Taiwan. And from there, that's how I joined National Development Council Startup Program. And from kind of what excites me about working with this team and the Taiwan Startup, because actually Taiwan's an easier topic to talk about, especially in the last 3 years, you know? Previously, it's always been shadowed or overlooked by and managed by the Greater China. It doesn't matter what corporate, it was always been managed by Greater China. But excitingly, right now in this current time and climate, Taiwan's actually easy and well received. So, and at the same time, I think Taiwan brings deep tech to both corporates and to, I guess, consumers. So B2C, B2B, Taiwan actually has a lot of deep tech solutions that can be brought to the masses, and especially in healthcare. So I think for me, excitingly, is bringing these Taiwanese founders in different sectors and industries to their business. So working with the money and friends part, which is the investors and the corporate CVCs, but also the business partners and government entities. That's so kind of playing the key role from the Startup Island Taiwan side. We can work with both the business side, but also the money side, but also government side. So my role is actually quite flexible and far-reaching. So it's exciting for me to meet with the different partners, especially when you join pre-pandemic and visit us in Taiwan. So, but thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Alan. So let's continue with Elisa. How do you think that, you know, maybe you can also tap into how you get started in the first place? And how do you think, you know, what's the Taiwan's unique environment that fosters the growth of the startup ecosystem, the secret sauce, so to speak? And what drew you to work with you for you in this space?
Okay, happy to answer that. So, how everything got started, I was actually intern at Upwards at the very early batch. So it was like more than a decade ago. I joined as an intern, and then because of Upwards, so I got to know many of the startups as well as the mentors. So after my internship at Upwards, I joined 2 startups. One is from the accelerator program, a traveling tech startup, and then later pivoted to a D2C brand. And later I joined another company, e-commerce company, founded by one of the mentors at Upwards. So that's how it got started. And after the internship, I actually got my first full-time job at the retail place, but later I miss working with tech startup founder because the pace is faster to me. So later I decided to come back to AppWorks and work full time here. So on the way, it's been like 10 years, and my full time here, it's the 8th year. So luckily, because of all of these years, I got to work alongside with many of the back then very small startup, and now they became a representable and leader in their respective sector. So, for example, Cake Resume, maybe some of you have heard about them. So they previously called Cake Resume and now rebranded to Cake. They are an HR tech company. So when I first met the founder of Cake Resume, Trenter, he was a solo founder. And after 7-8 years, now Cake Resume, they have more than 8 million users all over the globe. So that's something amazing that I got to witness throughout the years that I've been working at AppWorks. So that's about me. And your question is about how unique and special the ecosystem in Taiwan is. So I think all of other partners might also agree when we talk to international founders and international partners, we are proud of our deep tech talent and our easy access to our hardware manufacturing. And you can find many founders here, they especially specialize in IoT, so connecting software with hardware. And also the increasingly supportive government initiatives. And also, I think the consumer here is pretty tech savvy and open-minded. So altogether, I think it creates a very agile environment for the founders who want to come to Taiwan and do startups in Taiwan.
Amazing. I also met with the founder of the Cake Resume before the pre-COVID
Yeah.
time. They were, quite smaller than online. Obviously, it's been a while, right? So this exciting news that how they grown this much. Amazing. Wow. Thank you so much. Also, let's go to Edward. How did you, be involved in this ecosystem? Maybe you can give us a kind of timeline. And you also have, experience running programs as an organization, multiple countries, right? If you compare these, maybe a quick comparison between these regions, what are the differences? What makes Taiwan more standout?
I used to be also working in a startup as a founding member. We developed a caller ID service called Who's Call. Later got acquired by Naver from South Korea. That was also 10-ish years ago. After that kind of acquisition, I got acquired by Naver. So I worked on the Naver for almost like 4 years. So I'm pretty much familiar with the Korean working culture. So since then, actually, the challenge I faced or we faced is actually like in Taiwan, they're lacking of early stage fundings. There's no mentors or expertise who got that kind of global expansion experiences that can help us to expand. So that was actually my pain points. So in 2018, I co-founded Sparklabs Taiwan. It's a VC accelerator, mainly helping early stage founders to grow internationally. So I was actually spotted by Sparklabs group's co-founders. So I think some of you may know that Sparklabs have the accelerator. The first accelerator is based in Seoul. And the second one is Taiwan, and then we expanded to Australia, Saudi, and we gonna open like a few later this year. So I think in each site we have our own accelerator network, and also put in say that way, like Taiwan is well known for the deep tech engineers, so particularly in semiconductor and hardware for sure. So how we can leverage that kind of potential and to connect with different resources. So startups as a whole that we support each other, like like South Korea, high growing, tech savvy, e-commerce, beauty tech, Taiwan software very strong, and Saudi they got a lot of like deep tech right now booming since that a lot of research has been happening right now in Saudi as well. So we want to see like how we can benefit it from each other's resources and to support the global ecosystem. So we sometimes we call invest, sometimes we gonna follow on supporting our portfolio companies, like taking Korean company to solve their business in Taiwan or the other way around. So we pretty much work like very closely. And 2 weeks ago, I was also participating GTC, meeting the portfolio companies, not just from Taiwan, but also the portfolio company from anywhere else. So we want to be that kind of I mean, the same positioning as like FI is that how we can support the founders surrounded by different experienced founders and to help them no matter like how they want to expand to different markets or the domain knowledge or regarding like the obstacles that they've been facing. So that's pretty much how we want to play a role within the ecosystem.
Amazing. Great. It's really nice to know you more, Edgar. Also, it was a great comparison. Do you remember we eat the Korean barbecue
Yes,
2000
I remember. Yes, yeah.
years
You,
ago?
you sat in front of me.
It was great. It was so delicious. I just cannot forget. So okay, from now on, let's dive into the opportunities, more specific side of the Taiwan ecosystem. We're all here to know more about more Taiwan, and then we will be distributed to our global network, both internally and also to our audience as well. We have over 1 million subscribers in total, 1 million email that distribute across the world. So this is the chance that we can really, a really great message to the global audience. So, but I want to really first know about the opportunities because it sounds very opportunistic, many things, many collaboration opportunities. Taiwanese people are really open-minded to collaborate. So maybe could you, like all of you, each of you can be a little bit, let us know about some opportunities and region-specific opportunities, and maybe how founders should be take advantage of these opportunities. Maybe let's get started from, let's go with the right order, the same order. Yubi, what are the key opportunities that you're noticing right now that both for the global audience or for also Taiwanese founders and vice versa?
First, I think I want to echo what Elisa has shared. Definitely the talents and also the software, hardware integration, and also get access to the world's leading manufacturing partners are very key. And so it makes Taiwan a very good place for like product prototype development, prototyping, testing, and commercialization. And in addition to that, I think there's the other very important aspect is many of the Taiwan people really welcome international partners, international guests. And also many of the Taiwan corporates know we have to go global when the business scale up because considering Taiwan domestic market is not significant enough for the company growth. So I think this is a global mindset I have been seeing in the Taiwan ecosystem and also in entrepreneurs from Taiwan. And this makes Taiwan a very unique position for the international collaboration, business opportunity. And I always suggest a staff from Taiwan try to propose a product and solution that could be scalable to different markets and explore potential partner for the global market expansion. And I feel not only the big corporates in Taiwan, also lots of small, medium entities in Taiwan, they are also willing to work with the staff and go global. So I think this is a place very vibrant with talents and also with a global mindset.
Amazing. All right. Okay. I guess that was the order. I'm gonna double check. Ellen, okay. Opportunities.
Yeah, thank you. I think the opportunities are quite numerous, especially from my stance as part of Startup in Taiwan, but engaging with a lot of different founders, both from Taiwan and overseas. I think one thing you could take away is there's not many places in the world that you can have world-class manufacturing, precision manufacturing, all within 50 kilometers, all within 2 hours. I think you can go from Hsinchu to Taipei all within 45 minutes on a high-speed rail. But even through your traditional rail or large-scale products, it all can be transported by truck or to port, all within 2 hours. And I'm talking about really major manufactured items. So I think that's one thing. But also another is how the first round of Teslas were all kind of 70% were made in Taiwan through kind of low MOQs by Taiwanese manufacturers to help Elon get off the ground. And at this time, I think there's even a report out right now from Huanan Bank that shows all the Taiwanese manufacturers with their stock numbers that are created the Tesla robot Optimus. So I think this really just goes to the fact where Taiwan is ingrained that people don't know about. Your MacBooks are all Taiwanese small manufacturers, but this goes to like how Taiwanese manufacturers or business owners are willing to go small MOQs in the beginning just to work with the founders. And I think one example is a company called Aquavivo, German gentleman. he co-founded with his Taiwanese co-founder to create an aqua tech hardware product, and now they're in Dubai, they're in Singapore. But the opportunities to create hardware is incredible in Taiwan. I'm just highlighting hardware, but I think healthcare is another factor where Taiwan is excelling at. Most recently, we had 4 companies enter the Mayo Clinic. So that's really highlighting. We have a partnership with the School of Public Health with National Development Council, Berkeley. And with the Berkeley School of Public Health, we've already entered 20 companies into the Berkeley School of Public Health program. And out of that, 4 companies have, in the last 3 years, have been invested by the Mayo Clinic, as a world-class clinic from the US. But just to give a thought, Taiwan gives you a major metropolitan, very, very nice environment, but not at the cost of a Singapore or a Tokyo, but you have the safety and the convenience of a Tokyo and Singapore, but not at the cost of living. Taiwan is one of the happiest places in the world, they call it, right? So it's very livable, but it's also quite easy to operate a business. So I'll just leave it at that and answer questions later.
Right, I'm taking notes at the same time. I'm learning a lot of things, you know. Thank you so much, Alan. All right, let's continue with Lisa.
Yeah, so not to repeat the other 2 speakers already shared, I do agree that that's our strengths and opportunity. So maybe I can give examples from a different angle. I would say the other opportunity I see is actually Taiwanese people and Taiwanese entrepreneurs are pretty digitally savvy. So compare with different cities, you can notice that. I'll give you some examples. So like Shopback, a company from Singapore doing cashback service, and also Carousel, another startup from Singapore doing secondhand marketplace, and also Shopee, everybody knows. So these startups, they are from Southeast Asia. 3 of them are all of them started from Singapore, and we know them. And according to what they shared with us, they actually have their office and business in Taiwan. And till now, Taiwan is still one of the very important operating markets among all of the market that they have operations in. And the reason why is because, again, we are pretty digitally savvy. So from 3 of these companies founder, what they share with us, usually when they have some new campaign, new approach and new ideas, they will try it in Taiwan first. And when it proved work in Taiwan, then they will replicate it to other market. For example, Thailand, for example, other Southeast Asian market. And they noticed that if there's campaign worked in Taiwan or users like the new product, most of the time when they replicate it to other market, it will also be successful. So that's how they work in Taiwan. It's more like a experimental bed for them to test new idea and new products and new campaigns. So that's something we should be very proud of. So like according to 3 of these startups founder, they now still do it. So they still test more experimental approach or campaign here in Taiwan. So that's something I can share. That's what I observed from our community and a different angle from the 2 speakers just shared.
Amazing. I see. I'm gonna have some follow-up questions for all, but I'm gonna finish the round first. Agard, so opportunities from your point of view.
I think all the panelists already share the key highlights, and definitely for a lot of international entrepreneurs, there is like entrepreneurial visa that you can apply, so you can get like easier launch your business in Taiwan. And also, I think location is one of the advantage for being in Taiwan. Whether you are from like the US, you try to soften the business in Asia, or you try to travel from Taiwan to whether Japan, Korea, or Southeast Asia. I think it's a good spot that you can have a Asian hub that based in Taiwan, and the decent size of the Taiwan market is also good enough for you to test the market, especially entering to the Mandarin market. So pretty much, I think it's a quite the entry barrier is quite low comparing to other markets or other cities. So definitely, it's a good way for entrepreneurs if you try to get your first product test in Taiwan or test in Asia. I think Taiwan got a good positioning regarding that.
Amazing. So here's like take my notes, right? So go global, born global is a thing, a major thing in Taiwan. Manufacturing, especially precision manufacturing, within 50 square kilometers, and in 2 hours, a lot of things to be actually produced and try, and a lot of companies to be partners to get support, healthcare, hardware, and many more. And it's livable and easy to do business with actually. And also, sometimes people are pretty digital savvy, tech savvy. So it's also, it means easier to adapt and early adopters. So we can say, and also we could say also Manos, a good effective test market. I think this is one of the important, could be a headline, all the videos that are coming up. Test market for Go Global, very effective and cost effective at the same time. An entrepreneur visa, that kind of visa options also available. Location wise, also very much convenient to do so. It's amazing. All right. So even from the first question, we learn a lot of things. That's it's incredible. All right. So can as a follow-up questions, so do you think what is the most maybe everyone can be like answer this maybe rapid fire quickly maybe, or we can choose someone who can be answer this. And do you think that Taiwan ecosystem is more poised to go global or welcome to founders to the region? So when you look at the Japan, it seems like the role wants to come to Japan more than they want, because the market is huge, but they also should go. So there is a awareness creation, be our priority here to go global. In Taiwan, do you think it's first go global mindset is in place from the day one? I'm curious. Who wants to speak? Alan, shall we go?
I can definitely give a chime in, but I think both our investors, Edgar and Elisa, definitely can. But I think generally Taiwan as a market, it's the first market they claim, but going global is definitely on their radar as they begin their business and their product, I believe. But I'll definitely let Lisa and Edgar chime in as investors.
Edgar, maybe I will start first.
No problem.
Okay, I think there's a generation change. So, because I've been working at Upwork for myself alone already 8 years. So, what I have noticed is for the founders that in our community, from the earlier batches, most of them, I don't think they ever thought about going global from day one. Sometimes they want to be local champion. That's their goal, especially for the early batches of founders. And more local founders, they do have some language barrier. So they understand English, but they feel shy to communicate in English or to have some business conversation in English. So for such profile of founders, sometimes they need some confidence. So when they grow their company to a certain stage, when they have some successful case studies or they are already a local champion in Taiwan, that help them to build enough confidence to expand outside of Taiwan. So then they will start thinking about going globally or going regionally. But I think there's a generation change. So I noticed that the younger generation of founders, they have better language ability. English is not a problem for them. They are confident, they speak fluent English, and because of the macro market change, they also more and more younger founders, they start dreaming about or they start doing something that can expand globally from day one. And especially, we also have some program work with university or our founding partner, Jamie, he personally also sponsored students under 21 years old to, take a gap year and do their own startup. And if you see those student founders, you can notice that I think language or geographical barriers no longer a challenge for them. They now have a more open-minded mindset when it comes to entrepreneurship. So that's something I observed from our own community.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Elisa.
Yeah, I
Edgar?
can follow on. I think like for Taiwan, it's not just for Taiwan thing. It's like for anywhere else, like all the founders are thinking about whether they want to expand globally or not. I mean, even though the founders in the States or in Japan, in Korea, or like in Taiwan, or even like in Singapore, the founders can decide whether you want to expand to different markets or not. So it's more related to the founder's ambitious, right? And do you want to do something bigger? Do you what kind of the market can fulfill your ego? So I think Taiwan nowadays definitely, like everyone knows, like NVIDIA or AMD or a lot of like tech companies are led by Taiwanese. So we've been seeing more and more things are happening at the moment. Not to mention about regarding the AI hype. There's a lot of things that also require for the Taiwan elements, whether it's from the manufacturing part regarding like supply chain, etc. So it's more of like thinking about where would be the market could be, whether it's just for Taiwan or there's somewhere else. So as what I said is beforehand, I used to be like a founding member, early stage like founders. It's hard for us to imagine what else or where else that we can serve. So to bridge that kind of gap, I think we highly encourage that the founder to really look out. And also, I think right now in Taiwan, English is quite adaptive for a lot of founders that they can speak English, or even though you just walk on the street, that people are willing to help you in English. I think that's comparing to like Japan or Korea, Taiwan is quite friendly regarding adapting for international services or having international friends that be located in Taiwan. So putting that way, I think Taiwan can be more immersive or immersed regarding the global, not just English-speaking environments, but it's more about all the services that people are all open-minded to use that. So Taiwan right now got a good way, and for a lot of Western startups, that we also encourage them to think about how they should get into the Asian market. Not to mention about like I think market itself that doesn't mean anything. It's more about how big or who do you think would be the sizable market that you want to serve? In the States, there's quite like competitive, and also the market is too huge. If you want to test like a small market first, I think Taiwan got that kind of size. So back to your questions, I think Taiwan, most of the founders right now mentality is already being like go global ready. But the question will be how can they move faster, or who can they partner with so they can in order to expand to more regions in a short period of time.
Amazing. Yui, would you like to add anything else?
Yeah, I think my interaction with the startups are more the tech startups, especially deep tech startups. And I think from Taiwan, you can see most of the successful tech companies in Taiwan, they have a global outreach. And I think those kind of role models for the tech companies, entrepreneurs. So that's why I do see most of the deep tech companies, deep tech entrepreneurs, they know they have to go global stage with when the company scale up. So I would say in my interaction with the founders in Taiwan, they really know they should think about how to enter the global market. But on the other hand, I also think it's a good place for international entrepreneurs to come to Taiwan as well, because as shared, there's a mindset in Taiwan, especially in the tech companies, to collaborate with the global companies. And also lots of Taiwan manufacturer partners, they are also, as Alan shared, they are willing to invest or manufacture for innovative companies, even it's a small or leading edge products. So I would say, well, I see lots of Taiwan founders, they from very early stage, they know they should go global, but also there's a atmosphere here that we are willing to work closely with international staff. So I think we do definitely welcome international entrepreneurs to come to Taiwan for collaboration.
Amazing. So, all right, it was very very insightful. Also I'm curious about scaling startups from Taiwan, because I believe at least 6 to 70% of the audience from Taiwan actually, and some of the funders also asking me from Taiwan similar questions, scaling startup from Taiwan to world. So when it comes to scaling startup from Taiwan, it can have some specific challenges, right? I'd like to know more about these challenges, what the founders face in when they want to scale from Taiwan? Let's start from this one first. Maybe next phase, maybe we could maybe talk about coming to Taiwan. Maybe you can competitively answer this question. And let's tap into like a little bit challenges and a little bit also the advantages also. We actually talk about most of the advantages. Maybe we can tap into challenges and how we can overcome them. So how startups in Taiwan can take advantage of these location and expand to other markets, my question is. So to go global, what are the challenges and how they can navigate? Let's get started. I'm going to reshuffle. Edgar, shall we start from you first?
Sure. I think it's always about understanding the market. So I think for Taiwanese founders or the startup from Taiwan that definitely understand the users or clients from global, it's like quite tough. So it's actually not just like Taiwan thing. It's more about how you can really understand the ecosystem, understand the market. So more than half of our portfolio companies have revenue from Japan. So putting that said, is like when founders want to understand the Japanese market or Korean market, how deep they can really like study the market, or how well would they be able to understand that? So as a Taiwanese, if you try to get into the certain market, definitely like not about the ecosystem, not about who got that kind of experience of expanding to certain markets, it would definitely be helpful. But those kind of mindset, I think it's quite challenging for most of the Taiwanese founders, since it's not English-speaking countries. It's not like the market is not familiar with like how they can deal with the B2B businesses or how you can talk to big clients. So if they can show them that kind of gap, definitely that wouldn't be a barrier for that. So I would consider that's the most challenging part for Taiwanese founders if they try to expand to different markets.
Great. Okay. Challenges to expand globally. Elisa.
Also, not to repeat, so market, culture, language, that's something definitely challenging. I think what I can share is about the company's own financial status and also founders' time. So when you want to expand from your local market to a new market, I think the founders usually struggles with their own time. So at the same time, they need to take care of their business in the home market. They need to maintain the growth. They need to manage the team. A lot of topics still waiting for their decision. So if they still need to spend quite some time to take care of their home business, it's usually very challenging for them to expand and enter into new market, because while you are in a new market, you need to build connections, you need to learn about the culture, you need to talk to potential investors, you need to talk to potential users. So basically, you need to split your time in a new market to learn, and at the same time, not to that your home market's business have any like challenges or any bottleneck. So I would say the founder's time is always one of the big challenges. We have some case studies in our community that the founders thought they are ready to expand, but when they go into the new market, they realize that their home business in their home market are pretty chaotic and they need to fly back, and they need to balance their time here. So at the end, they have very limited progress in a new market, and they have some burning problems or challenge in their home market. So that's usually one of the big challenges. And about I would say financial status is similar to what I just mentioned. So when the home business, the financial status is not healthy enough, usually I wouldn't recommend them to expand into a new market, because if the home business still losing money, if still burning money, then I don't think they have that much luxury to enter into a new market to do such experiment. So but fortunately, thanks to the paradigm shift brought by AI, so I think now the founder have the privilege to use the more lean team to build the product, so that maybe they have a smaller burden about the burn rate of managing people or building up the team. So maybe this is something, some benefit brought by the paradigm shift of AI.
I'm curious, maybe I can add a quick twist into the question, the current agenda. Finding partnerships across the world or finding someone to talk and collaborate in across different regions is a challenge for the Taiwanese founders? maybe we can continue with Alan with this question.
Okay. I think for kind of from my side, I get to view it on kind of the startups who reach out and utilize our resources, right? And I think each market presents different challenges. And I think for a lot of our targets to Japan, there's a lot of challenges for Japanese market compared to maybe Southeast or US market. You know, a local Japanese representative or kind of setting up the business structure and setting up the bank account. I think that's just some of the things that for our side in terms of resources that we need to extend to them. That's what we've seen and heard kind of Japan as a market. That's why our office opened up a representative office in Japan to kind of alleviate, to help them with the business, kind of get them registered as a business locally, but we're working with one of the major banks. And also, I think one of your partners, Shibuya Startup Support, Mari and her team. So that's kind of with them and Shibuya City, helping them with the visa, the business, and the bank setting up, the bank working with Mizuho Bank. So I think that's kind of different markets need different solutions. So I think some of you're asking pain points. I think for us, recently we've encountered that, trying to solve that pain point for startups to register in Japan, because that's outside of Southeast Asia and the US, Japan is actually the top 3 market for Taiwan startups to reach to.
Amazing. So, as a follow on this, you know, you also would like to hear from you too about the challenges. Maybe you can also answer us in a way that, you know, because you also have a lot of international experience, and everyone also can pick up this question also as well, which is, here's an example. Japanese founders always struggle for, you know, globalization and finding global partners and, you know, doing businesses across the other regions in the world. Maybe culturally, it's also an island culture, but it's a bit different. So they always have this connectivity issue, both language-wise and maybe their own country's diaspora in the other regions. Even though it's pretty strong, but it tends to be Japanese partner. Is this the same for Taiwanese people? Like, do you have enough representatives in the other countries? Do you have challenges for finding partners? How we could help maybe all these together? Because I guess everyone here has an overseas office, which is amazing. Those are great, you know, partners to collaborate collaboratively. You know. All right, let's go to you.
Yeah, I think it's always challenging to enter a new market, no matter you are a staff or a corporate. But I think the most challenging part I observe is the stage of the staff who want to enter the other markets. For example, in Japan, or maybe we also have a program in India, most of the entrepreneurs in India, they will consider go global when they are at later stage. They are more mature, have a home market, and they want to grow further. But for Taiwan startups, many of the startups, they want to go global at very early stage. So that's why it's more challenging, as Elisa shared, maybe the resource and the funding. And I believe that's one of the major reasons I see more difficulty for the Taiwan startup to go global. But with that, I think the Taiwan startup can find partners, for example, like international corporates like us, or the international accelerators like Smart Labs and AppWorks, and also some government funding programs. Leverage those global resources, not fight it alone. Try to find partners that can support you and help you to build a new connection in the global market. And it's never been easy to found a company, but we just have to find a way to strive. Yeah, that's my feedback.
Okay. Could you guys share, you know, top 3 markets in your point of view, or maybe from your programs, it's like to enter to recommend it for the Taiwanese startups? It will be there. There might be some overlaps. It's gonna be game, okay? So say it in like 20 seconds, and it's rapid fire. I will, you know, roll the dice, and let's start from the Edgar again. Start from you, Edgar. Say us like a top 3 markets, maybe a quick why, and from the top of your head for Taiwan startups.
I mean, for where they should enter or where they like easier for them to enter.
Top three markets that you think from your POV to enter regional markets I'm talking about, not like, other industries.
POB, I think will be definitely like Japan, Korea, and the third one I gonna pick will be the States, the US market.
All right. Okay. Elisa?
I will share from the different angles. So if you ask us, the startups from our community, they usually go to Japan and Southeast Asia. And there's also a change. So like 7, 8 years ago, if you ask me, I would tell you that they usually go to, other than Taiwan, they usually go to Singapore and Hong Kong. So after 7, 8 years, they now go to, from our community, they now go to Japan, Southeast Asia, and more are entering into Korea.
Sounds like I make a great decision to to take over the Taiwan program. It wasn't managed by anybody else, so I thought it will be great because I see a lot of activities between Japan and Taiwan, and some also Korea as well. I see this one according like how many people visit and how many acquaintances I have from Taiwan in these regions. A lot of Taiwanese people visit here more than other nations. So yeah, go for it. Right. Alan, top three markets.
I would say Japan. I think for myriad of reasons. I think Japan, mainly Japan and Taiwan, have a trust factor. And a lot of the Taiwan precision manufacturing does come from working with the Japanese manufacturers in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s. So that's where you get that closeness ties. And third is, I guess just through geographical landscape, Taiwan and Japan are friends now and into the foreseeable future. But one thing you'll see is Japanese corporates and businesses are actually actively looking in Taiwan for solutions. We see their SMBC, Mizuho, and Mitsubishi all have teams here, and they probably reached out to all of us here on knocking our doors. What Taiwan solutions do you have? Can you introduce me to Taiwan startups? So the trust factor is there. Outside of that, our companies are definitely looking to Southeast Asia. I think that's one thing is it's the Chinese diaspora, overseas Chinese, both in Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. They make business easier locally in those regions. So I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you so much, Alan. Yui?
I think I should answer the question the other way. Many of the startups, they consider the US market, which is, of course, very huge, but also not easy to get in unless you have a network, you have work or the study there. So I also suggest a startup to, especially the early stage Taiwan startup, to consider to explore adjacent markets like Japan, Southeast Asia. And also because the cost to explore this adjacent market are also lower. And also once you have established a way to expand to new markets, it will be easier for you to duplicate. So try to address the market first, and instead of a long shot in the US or Europe markets, unless you have some network there already. Yeah. That's my suggestion.
Amazing. Thank you so much. How many unicorns from Taiwan? Let's find out this one first, and let's learn their names. Shall we this time start from Ellen?
Okay, officially, I mean, we have Perfect, which is a health and beauty startup, not a startup anymore, that has been invested by Shiseido, that went public on NASDAQ. Gogoro, a hardware motorcycle electronic bike motorcycle company that's worked with Panasonic. I also have 91 App, which is a local Taiwanese and public in Taiwan. And we also have App Here, which is AI influencer platform that's went public in Japan. So I think the takeaway is we're both representative in the hardware and software space, but also going public or in both the US, Japan, and Taiwan. So I think Taiwan unicorns are well represented.
Any other startups to add? You could also add something that is not startup anymore, public already, as Alan mentioned. Used to be a startup that plus success stories. Anybody else that wants to share other success stories?
I think
Edgar?
there's definitely a couple of the early stage, or that isn't like early stages, the high growing startups. I think like Amazing Talker is also doing something great as well. And there's like a couple of the companies who in doing, I mean, earlier this year, we co-invest with NVIDIA. There's a company doing digital twin solutions called Met AI. There's another one. I think a couple of the startups are right now, especially in the Gen AI fields, are growing quite well. And there's a couple of definitely EV can name a lot since QITC. They've also been selecting a lot of great startups that also in whether semicon AI. So I think there's a tons of the startup that definitely worth to mentioning. But I think it's more about like whether this startup that could also penetrate into multiple markets at the same time. As what Evie just earlier mentioned, early stage startups, if you try to expand to multi
Hey, but the
Anyway,
company he just mentioned called Met AI is an amazing company that's definitely has the interest of NVIDIA, but also some other manufacturing VCs in the United States. So I think while Edgar gets online, maybe if Elisa or Evie wants to share, just want to chime in about Met AI.
Yeah, maybe I can share some experience because when we select the staff for the Taiwan program, we actually invite a jury member from our global teams. And we were very amazed about the Taiwan founders, about their innovative solutions and the patient need. So that's why we can keep running this corporate engagement program from Taiwan for 7 years and also launch a new program in the APEC. And I think many of the Taiwan companies, they are more working on the B2B or B2B2C. So probably not so well known in the global stage, but definitely they are very deep tech and able to compete with the global companies as well.
I saw that Stephen is asking for what made them dominate instead of just names. So I think while everybody or Edgar knows more about Med AI, maybe you can share more about how they dominate or become so successful in such a short time. And maybe I can talk about Taiwan app or the local unicorn. Taiwan app is one of Apple's portfolio, and they use less than 10 years from starting this idea all the way to when IPO in Taiwan. And what made them, have such progress in such a short time? We think it's because the founder definitely has the privilege. The founder called Stephen Ho, and people called him the godfather of e-commerce in Taiwan. So before founded Taiwan app, he already had two successful startup and one acquired by Yahoo, the other acquired by eBay. So when he first founded Taiwan app, he already knows who's who in the ecosystem. He also knows the pain point. He also knows where the customer, where the supplier is. So I think that's why fundamentally he had a good start and strong start all the way to make Taiwan app a very successful unicorn within 10 years. And we are specialized looking forward to having more examples like this. So Taiwan, like I mentioned earlier, many of the founders and as well as the consumers here are digitally savvy. So many of the founders in our ecosystem, they are already repeat founders. So if you look at the stats, every batch when we take in a new batch of accelerator program, 30 to 40% of the founders, they are repeat founders. So we also have very high expectation on these repeat founders. They start a new venture with existing experience and network. Maybe they can, maybe you guys can witness more unicorns to come in the upcoming few years.
Yeah, following Lisa's like just killing me. I think for like May AI or other services, like a lot of the Taiwanese startups are really doing B2B solutions. So a lot of startups are more thinking about they are solving other startups' questions instead of like big companies like challenges. So I mean, take like Qualcomm or a lot of like big companies, they are also looking for new solutions that they can penetrate into new fields or try to make things like moving more smoother. So I think like don't be afraid of like talking to big companies or the other way around. You need to be open-minded to really look out those like top players, what kind of the things they are looking for. So I still like I think the tactics is that talk understand your customers as deep as possible. I think that's the alternative way that you can penetrate into like certain market, especially in B2B or the Gen AI fields.
And I'd like to also a little bit tap into the other side of the table, which one of the questions related. How open is Taiwan for global investors looking to deploy capital in Taiwan? That's also one of my interests, actually. Shall we start from the investors first? Edgar, let's continue.
Please repeat again.
Sure. How open is Taiwan investors open for the global investors to deploy in Taiwanese startups?
I think for us, because we mostly we want our portfolio companies or the companies that we invested to connect with the global markets. So definitely one way is to work with global investor or multinational companies like Qualcomm or different kind of big companies. So we pretty much most of our following investors are global investors. But the other way around is that how we can help global investors to really have Taiwan startups in their radar, under the radar or on the map. I think that's something that Startup Island Taiwan has been doing is that taking Taiwanese startup to really be exposed into different ecosystem. So I mean for us, we are definitely welcome. I think the challenging part would be like how Taiwanese government can breach or shorten that kind of gap regarding connect with international investors to Taiwanese startups. So I think the government has been doing a lot of things helping international startups or more like a Taiwanese startup to connect with international investors. So I think that I definitely I think Alan can share more perspective regarding that. A lot of investors have been just go to Startup in Taiwan directly to ask about who can I invest, or is there any way that we can connect with that Taiwan startup ecosystem to deploy our capital, or they've been seeing like Taiwan stocks. Stock exchange has been growing quite fast. So I think definitely like I think Alan can add more thoughts regarding that.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess there's a few ways. I think the Taiwan government actively works with overseas funds and VCs. I think representing the U.S. in the past, we've National Development Fund has been an LP of Draper Associates, have been an LP of 500 Global. From Japan, I think the National Development Fund has been an LP of Javco, Headline Asia, Korea. I mean, working with Spark Labs Taiwan as also kind of bringing in the outside investor to bring in, I guess, network, but also capital to push into the Taiwan startup ecosystem. So that's one angle. But if you say purely VCs, I think there's many of the Singapore and Japanese investors have been quite, actually US. I just had dinner with, which is really interesting, the manufacturing VC, who Elisa and Edgar and Evie, I'll definitely introduce you. The guy is super intelligent. His name is Simon Lancaster. He works with Omni Ventures. He was just in Taiwan. His claim to fame is he has the most patents when he was with Google that were working with outside partners. So this guy, but he started his own VC called Omni VC. But I think he's also been into Taiwan and then looking for funding. But how is just being at trade shows, network, friends of friends, and word of mouth, and just being a good partner with everyone. That's how we kind of connect with the VC community.
I'd like to also, because you guys mentioned it, which is I think it's worth to tap into, like what are some government supports, like obvious ones, and also Taiwanese ecosystem government led, or I don't know, maybe corporate led. In Japan, a bit more corporate led. Government try to involve and try to catch up, but there are room to grow for sure. But in Korea, a bit more government led. How about in Taiwan?
I think for everyone here, we're quite aware that Taiwan has many government programs. I think we are between Thailand and Japan, as in you just mentioned that Japan is quite heavy, both in corporate and with JETRO and J startups, but also the local municipalities such as Fukuoka and Shibuya are all quite active along with Osaka. So I think you got the heavy corporate and heavy Japan and heavy government from Japan. But on Thailand as a military and a kingdom, they leave a lot of the economy to the corporates, PTT, SCB, True or CP Group. So in Thailand, you don't see as much NIA and DIPA or Digital Economy Promotion Agency and National Innovation Agency of Thailand would be their agencies. But I think in Taiwan, the government is quite active. I think with Ministry of Economic Affairs, with Startup Terrace, National Development Council with our program or Startup Island Taiwan, but also with National Science and Technology with Taiwan Tech Arena or TTA. So to your question, Taiwan is quite active on the government side, but also working with the VCs to have funding on that side. So notable also with our card program or entrepreneur visa program with outside talents and digital nomads inviting to Taiwan. So the government's made it easier for founders overseas, but also local founders.
I'd like to, prioritize and try to finalize the questions that audience is asking. Pretty interesting questions coming up. So I won't be, trying to get in the answers like rounding style. Instead, I will get, one by one instead. So one of the questions is pretty interesting, and I'm also very curious, and both for our portfolio and for myself as well, which is it common to see a foreigner founders in Taiwan? And is there any support for them, like foreigner-specific programs in them? And I wonder, the person who's asking, I guess anonymous, I wonder why foreign founders should choose Taiwan to migrate and rather than other places. He or she is comparing to Japan and Korea. So let's start from this. Like, first, do you see often foreigners in Taiwan?
Actually, I just returned from Japan. I was very amazed about the foreign entrepreneurs ecosystem in Japan. Compared to Taiwan, I think Japan, I see lots of startup. They have one co-founder from Japanese local founder, and the other co-founder is an international co-founder. So I thought that's a very interesting combination in Japan. I do not see that much, honestly, in Taiwan, but we do see lots of Taiwanese founder. They study abroad and work abroad and come back to Taiwan to start their ventures. And also, as shared, I think the English conversation and also the willing to work with a global partners mindset. And I do really hope we can attract more foreign talents to come to Taiwan and work with local talents for new companies. Yeah.
Amazing. Anybody else wants to answer this one too? I'm really curious, honestly. Elisa?
We are seeing more and more. So for example, like our program, now every batch, when we take around 40 to 45 startup, and actually more than 60 to 70% of them are from outside of Taiwan. They are international founders. But just that, nowadays after COVID, I think founders are becoming more and more flexible. So for international founders, they spend their time wisely. I believe my fellow speakers are also like that. So for example, those founders, with a 3 months long program, they usually come into Taiwan on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, and they would wisely spend their time not only in Taiwan but in their home market and other market they are expanding into. So we do see more and more international founders. They show higher interest and they are trying to explore the opportunities in Taiwan, and that's how we curate our program as well. So echoes to all the speakers they just shared. So for example, now when the international founders come to Taiwan, we will also take them to visit like government program or other VC fellows or other corporates. So for example, like EV representing Qualcomm, and also we have our friendly partners like Wistron. I think more and more Taiwanese corporate now they are not only interesting, but very open-minded and ready to work with international startup. And while they are more opening up, providing more opportunities, I believe we will see more and more collaborations between Taiwan and these international startups.
Amazing. Yeah, I definitely see a lot of collaborations and cross-cultural programs. We're trying to become one as the Japan program, Japan, Korea, Taiwan program. It's an international program, which we aim to, a Japanese founder joining us should be able to easily get into the Taiwan by this way. One of the founders who apply and get selected as a team, 3 founders, they're Europeans, but they want to be, partner with the Taiwanese co-founder, which actually collaboratively apply, because it was very makes sense strategically for them, and they aim to even be considering to move there because it's a kind of hardware and software, AI startup, but it's about the hardware actually, and it's amazing actually. First time I'm seeing, because first time I working with the Taiwan ecosystem by this way, a lot of room to grow, right? Anyways, so a lot of things to talk. We talk a lot of things, but I mean, I just can't get enough. Maybe we should do the round 2 with all of you again. Maybe one-on-one discussions each of you. That would be great. I just started a YouTube channel, by the way, so we post recordings there, and I also welcome mostly investors, but ecosystem builders, but also sometimes founders, scale-up founders who has a lot of experiences. I would love to do maybe one-on-one with you all. That would be great, like a playlist of about the Taiwan related topics. That being said, I'm gonna have one question for all of you. Maybe as a wrap up, I'd like to hear one piece of advice from you to give the entrepreneurs to start and grow their business in Taiwan, from Taiwan to globe, or people who wants to come to Taiwan as well. Could you share us, like, as a wrap up, some advice? Let's get started. I mean, shall we start from Ellen?
Okay, great. I think the other guests are going to definitely share, but I think one piece of advice for Taiwan that isn't heard of is Taiwan's bigger than Taipei. All right. So, and we all have a very convenient transportation system in Taiwan. From north to south is about 2.5 hours maximum. So I think founding or starting your team is Kaohsiung, Taichung, or Tainan is also quite able to host your business or your founding group. So that's one tip. I think the others are going to add more, but there's definitely bigger places outside Taipei.
First place that I came in Taiwan was Kaohsiung. I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. Kaohsiung, for a business meeting. So you will guess what kind of companies there, right? So I'm amazed with the food, by the way. I just didn't want to go. And then with the train, the bullet train, I go to Taipei, but I always want to go back. It's amazing food, also. Anyways, okay, Alisa, shall we continue with you?
Maybe for the founders who want to come to Taiwan, or any ecosystem partners who want to come to Taiwan, speak to us, all of the fellow speakers here. So I think each of us have our connections and network. And I think it's important for a newcomer to leverage when entering into a new market, so that you can maybe skip all those, culture gap, and you can speak to the right person. And I think all of this will speed up the progress. So I think Edgar, Evie, and Ellen, and we're happy to help.
Yeah, Sam, echo. Just like come to Taiwan as early as possible. Taiwan got good food, good people, and also like a good size of the market that you can test. So definitely like reach out to us, and we'll see like how we can be supportive.
Yeah, I only want to add 2 words. Why wait? Just come, and we're really looking forward to meeting with you and explore potential collaboration here.
You are on mute.
Sorry, apologies. I'd like to visit for an in-person event. I would love to reach out to you all if you are available, of its introductions and things like that. I'm aiming to do maybe next month or the following month, perhaps. It would be great actually to catch up in person. At least we can have some meetings and stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for this. It's been great.
Thank you.
Okay. See you soon in Taiwan.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Taiwan.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.